Another thing that I've learned through my personal lucid dreaming practice has to do with a topic that has interested me for a very long time, and that is shared or mutual dreaming, where I've done several experiments over the years with other dreamers in the community trying to meet up in our dreams and have a solid confirmable hit. But long story short, they've all essentially been misses, at least for me personally, what I would consider a miss, where there have been times where I was able to find a target or they were able to find me, but it was either not on the same night or the dream settings were just so wildly different that it wasn't enough to convince me personally. However, I am still doing experiments on this stuff, so I'm actually getting ready to do another one where this guy's going to try to astral project to my house and find out some information that he couldn't otherwise know. So a little scary, but also very cool. So we'll see how that goes. And then I'm still like, even though I should point this out too. So my core belief, and this could absolutely be a problem with me trying to do these experiments personally, my core belief is that it's not possible, right? But I'm still getting books like this because I like to try and push on my beliefs and whatnot. Haven't read this book yet, kind of new to me. So, I'll read through it, see how it goes. I don't know if I'll do a whole breakdown on the book. I'm thinking I probably won't, but, I still like digging into this topic nonetheless. And really what got me so into it is over the years, I've had a lot of dreams that really felt or seemed like I was interacting with another dreamer. And then also kind of related to that, but a little bit different, is one of my favorite things to do. It's almost like a default reaction for me to do when I am lucid within my dreams, is I like to find out other dream characters. And this also is great because it gets to fly in the face of what you'll see on a lot of these lucid dreaming don'ts lists, where they say, don't tell other dream characters that they're in a dream or they're not real or something like that. Because I do this stuff all the time. It's one of my default things to do, as I was saying, but I'll find other dream characters within the dream setting, and then I like to show them lucid dreaming stuff, right? And then I've had a lot of dreams where past dream characters will come up to me. Sometimes I recognize them from previous dreams. Most of the times I don't, and they'll thank me for helping them out with some dream related thing. And so anyway, that's kind of what piqued my interest in it. Then I've also been getting like a lot of comments and messages of people telling me, man, share more of your personal lucid dreams. So here's a recent one that kind of checks both of those boxes. And so this happened when the Olympics were still going on, and you'll see where that kind of makes sense here. But also, I should preface this by saying my younger son, who's 6, he's really into aliens, mostly because in the first movie they have that mech, and he thinks that mech is super cool. So he's always talking about it. Then they have that new alien movie, Alien Romulus or whatever, coming out. So, it's kind of been on my mind. So I'm already lucid in this dream, and we're basically in like this big facility, and right now we're in like this big metal gigantic container with a super high ceiling, and there's these aliens coming at us. So I'm loose, I'm flying around, easily avoiding. I'm just kind of enjoying the space. There's a group of dream characters on the ground who are all kind of freaking out. So, so I'm flying up high, and then I get up high, and there's like this vent coming out, and there's all these like, the little baby aliens that jump on people's faces coming out the ceiling. But whatever, I easily enough avoid them. And then I look down towards the ground at the dream characters, and I see this one lady who's on the ground, and it looks like she's like separating from her stencil body, or like, doing some sort of OBE type thing within the dream though, standing up with like another copy of herself right there. So that catches my attention. I should also preface this by saying that I've been doing a lot of these, the phase book that we've been covering. So it always talks about like OBE stuff separating from your stencil. So, that's been on my mind a lot. So I see them and I'm thinking, oh, I better go check out this dream character. So I fly down there and I talk to the copy of her that's standing up, like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? Are you separating from your stencil and all this other stuff? And then she tells me this, is like, no, she's training for the Olympics, which totally caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. I went, oh, well, I'm dreaming here. You want to go fly around and do some lucid dreaming stuff? And so she seemed like she was down with it, but then when I flew off, she didn't start following me. And then that's basically where that ended. Like I didn't pursue it anything past that. Maybe I should have. Also could be like because my general belief is that it's not possible. It didn't even really cross my mind to try and pursue this dream character more. I just basically ditched her and flew off to go keep it playing around in the dream scene that I was in. So at this point, I'm like flying down this hallway, and there's other dream characters with me, and it's a lot. It is a bit scarier at this point, when I wasn't scared at all inside this big inside this big room that I was flying around earlier. And so as this is going on, the dream scene ends up changing to now I'm like watching the movie Aliens, like in a movie theater. I got my older brother there, some other people with us, and then I got my 6-year-old son also watching it. So finding myself in this situation, I'm like, I still want to fly around and enjoy the space. So I just basically ditch them, start flying towards the back. It ends up turning into like this old place that I used to work at with like all these different like cubicles and stuff. So I'm flying around there, kind of pointless part, but like I bump into this thing on the wall. One of the dream characters like kind of starts yelling at me. So then like I yell back at them, and then thinking, like maybe I overreacted kind of yelling at this dream character. then it had this weird sense of the dream character's like, oh, okay, like I respect you for that. And then, you know, I don't know, maybe that has to do with some deep psyche shit. So that happens. I end up flying back towards the movie theater, and I can see on the movie now it's getting to an actual like really scary part of the movie. And so then my brother looks at me, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing, like, oh, maybe I gotta get my younger son out of here. And he's like, oh, you know, maybe we should get Koo out of here. And so then I had a feeling like he was gonna take him, right? But then my brother's just sitting there glued to the movie. So I'm thinking, okay, great, you know, whatever. I'll take my son. And then because I like showing him lucid dreaming stuff, I'm thinking, okay, great. I'll take my son. He hops on my back. We start flying out. Then as we're flying out, instead of being in a movie theater, it switches back to us actually being like in the movie where all these aliens are coming at us. So there's these group of aliens coming at us through this scaffolding thing. So I'm thinking, you know what, no problem. I'll get my son out of here. So we start flying up, has a really big ceiling again. So I'm trying to think at this moment, like, okay, how am I going to exit this room? So I'm not tripping on it at all. I'm thinking I can do any number of things. We can teleport. I can just bust through the ceiling, pass through the ceiling, go through a wall. But as I'm flying up, I end up seeing this window. So I take him over to the window and I'm telling him how, like, sometimes within your lucid dreams, you know, even though I know this is a dream, this window could still be very hard to pass through or get through. So I'm pushing against it. It's very hard to get through, but I just use basically force and intention. The window slowly opens up from the bottom. We slip out of there. You know, the rest of the dream kind of isn't even really worth sharing, but I'll give you the breakdown. So we're flying up this street. It ends up looking like the street that we live by. There's this big, huge soccer park across the roadway. And then in the soccer park, we see a bunch of like people camping out, like having little soccer overnight camps and whatever, with a bunch of different people. So we fly over that. I'm zooming around with him. It starts getting hard, like the sensation of flying starts to dissipate and it feels more like I'm sitting down, kind of like pretend flying versus actually having a good sensation of flying, which I love so much. So to do that, I kind of like change my body position and I'm explaining it to my son, like, okay, here, look, now it feels more like we're flying. Long story short, we find like this recycling area. I want to put him down, so I want to show him how I can like trace letters and designs in the sky as I fly. I'm doing that. My wife comes over all of a sudden, like walking down on the ground. She's like, hey, where's Koo at? I'm like, oh, he's right down there. I put him down by this recycling thing to watch me fly and trace out this design in the sky. And then I woke up. So boom, that's it. Anyway, yeah, so I am interested in mutual and shared dreaming. I got another experiment here coming up. It'd be cool if it hit, even though kind of scary because it could change my belief and point of view on things. But so far, through my lucid dreaming practice, what I have learned is that mutual or shared dreaming, you know, is not possible. But hey, I'm open to being wrong. And with that said, that'll wrap it up. Till the next video, keep your lucid dreaming practice legit.